everybody, I am Tom and you are watching me play Disco Elysium. In today's episode, we're gonna continue searching around this this coast because we've been told by a lovely lady down in the little fishing village that the Cryptozoologist headed up this way. And that's who we're looking for, so maybe we can find him if we keep looking. I found a little box here with some money on it. No boat in the boathouse today. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. Interesting. Magnesium and some glasses. Cool. Boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. Fair enough. More money. Can I get behind here? I don't think I can get behind here, maybe. I guess these reeds are blocking it. An ancient painting is peeling off the roof of this shaded bench, covered in rust. Entree into that. An old ticket booth no longer in operation. People pay money to park here? No one would pay now. That's probably very true. Is that bullet holes? Shelled, right?
Of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Why this many bullet holes?
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them.
Firing
a dozen
squad.
at least. Their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound. No movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
Firing squad.
The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution.
Everyone was fully armed.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background.
I kind of glossed over it here. I guess I can go over it a bit more specifically. The idea of a conscience round where only one soldier has a loaded rifle. The idea of that is that when you have a group of people in a firing squad, you have plausible deniability that it wasn't you who actually killed the person in the firing squad. I think they still do execution by firing squad in China, I believe. And I think they do the same thing there, where only one... They're all given a rifle, and only one of the rifles actually has rounds in it. Everything else is blanked. So that you can have a bunch of people executing and not having the guilt of knowing they've killed somebody is the idea, I believe.
Ordinary people. Familiar. Each and every one of them.
Who were they?
Leeches, fleas, and thieves. All the freeloader scum living off the hard work of others. Such is your belief.
Poor people. Specifically poor people who had turned to crime, I guess? Look at the line of soldiers.
7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one?
Look at the person standing on the side.
The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air. The lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Who's who in this explanation? I need to understand.
I'm just a representation of your mental faculties, piecing together any available information. You should probably ask the lieutenant.
Alright.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Interesting. Quite interesting. Apparently I have to walk the whole way around to get to this box. Good to know. A box and 20 cents. Cool. Another box over here. 2 more bottles. Gonna be rich. Completely inaccessible door. And this bridge is completely broken, so I can't go across the bridge, I suppose. Makes sense. So I went the right way first, because I just fully explored this southern section, which is nice. I can keep heading up this way and talk to these people, I guess? Sure, why not? Let's have a look at these things first, though. A buoy bobs in the water. The number on it says 11. Oh, apparently that leveled me up. Do you get experience every time you look at one of these? I guess so. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes. Crumbling. These soggy logs smell of ignition fluid. Still, they won't light up. Tiny cages, carefully constructed. Hello.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this gem.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officer.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must be Morell, the cryptozoologist.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
You don't seem too happy to see the RCM.
Oh no, it's alright. I'm just busy. What's this about?
It's alright. Lena sent me. She's been worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the AL-81.
Yeah, that was me. I broke the water lock with my motor carriage, but it's fixed now. You can go back.
You broke the water lock with a motor carriage? There was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
Yeah, but presumably I hit the sign. No, it was all me. I caused you a delay. I'm sorry, but you can return now.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Cool.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we go in.
How did you become a cryptozoologist?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
I guess that makes sense. Have you ever discovered a cryptid?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
Makes sense, I suppose. How many cryptids have you found?
Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
Only 2 have been proven to be real?
Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Grad, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids,
Interesting.
most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
It's a small number of discoveries.
Do you know what the success rate in pharmacological research is? 0.00003% of bioreactive agents have reproducibly beneficial effects. Yet science persists in
true,
the
I
search for
suppose.
medicine, as we persist in our search for new species.
I guess the only real difference here is that the pharmacological research gives a benefit to society more so than finding a cryptid. But I mean, I have no problem with this. It's a perfect field of research, really. As long as you're being honest with yourself that most of these are bullshit. Was it, Hillary, the guy who first climbed Mount Everest? He supposedly went on afterwards to go search for the Yeti. So that's a thing. I think they came to the conclusion it didn't exist. Although, I think there was also some speculation that he was also spying on, I can't remember which country. It was in the Himalayas, so I don't know. There was potentially one country that was doing ballistic missiles, and they wanted to go and spy on them because he had like 2 rocket experts with him or something on his search for a Yeti, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, anyway, it's an interesting story.
He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
Why not just be a zoologist? Real animals are puzzling too.
Real? I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does.
I don't. It's a profession, just like any other.
Indeed. My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of evidence. And I have more hope that something truly surprising might happen.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, he is doing scientific research. From talking to him, at the very least, he's doing scientific research correctly. It's just that he has more hope than a lot of other people. Has something truly surprising ever happened to you?
No, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid. Although I have come close. Close enough to keep trying.
What kinds of evidence do you use?
Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here, to look for the phasmid. I keep a very open mind.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
You think other scientists don't listen to ordinary people enough?
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research, and certainly not the truth. They're a cowardly lot, and both the field and basement archives can be dangerous places.
Thanks for explaining that. Now, about something else.
Yes?
Tell me more about these traps.
Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
How do the traps work?
Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can get back out.
Oh, interesting.
At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
Lena designed the traps?
Yes.
What are you using as bait? Locusts, right?
Locusts.
Yeah.
Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
A carnivorous stick insect. Apparently it's a stick insect. A carnivorous stick insect seems unlikely.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism.
What will you do if the traps don't work?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
Okay, so that makes more sense to me now. So they're not just assuming maybe these guys eat meat. They're saying, well, last time they used traps with plants and it didn't work, so let's try other insects. Maybe the insectivorous insects. Let me ask you about something else.
Yes. What?
Tell me more about these phasmids you're looking for.
Which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
Oh, we cut the first offer. Well, first, it's damn difficult to find. Okay. What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there?
True.
And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators or scientists in our present case.
What sort of specialised techniques is the phasmid used to hide itself?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex.
That would be cool.
But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
How big is this phasmid?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm.
Pretty big. He leaves the conclusion up to you. Why are you so interested in this stick bug? Aren't there more sensational animals out there?
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
But if no one can prove it exists, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
He says brusquely, enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
See, that's what usually happens with cryptozoologists,
By
right?
which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
What makes you think the phasmid is here in Martinez?
There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree, despite not knowing what it was themselves. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe the Insulindian phasmid has died out.
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Damn.
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for a species with a small population to survive.
So Raz, there's no special feelings in me.
And it shouldn't. Nature does not concern herself
Exactly.
with ethical propositions. As a scientist, My interest is strictly dispassionate,
Lenny seems pretty eager for you to
and
return.
I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps.
That's fine.
My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Come on, Morell. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
Gary the crypto-fascist.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
I didn't know the phasmid was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Really, she sighted a phasmid?
Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine. Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Maybe you could go back to the whirling warm-up, come back to check the traps later.
No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this.
I mean, I don't want to come back and check these traps. If I'm being perfectly honest, but I don't mind doing it either because I can fast travel, right? What if I check the traps for
I
you?
didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
Cryptozoology and detective work aren't very similar.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
What do I do if there's a phasmid in one of the traps?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
Where are these traps?
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
What if I encounter the phasmid in the wild?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Ugh, lay it on me.
Wise choice.
I'm ready. Let's get to it.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask.
Finally, you're being sensible. I'll start packing right now.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. But what if the information is vital? On the hunt.
Let's talk about specific cryptids.
All right. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it, since you've offered to help.
Which cryptid did you almost catch? You said before that you almost caught one.
A willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialists would find rather dull.
Willow people? Not at all.
What are willow people?
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees.
Hmm.
They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact. and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here.
So I may have seen these willow people without even knowing it.
You probably have.
How did you almost catch one?
Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paint. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow, dashing through the grove.
And then?
I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
A lavender shadow.
I know it sounds like we were snacking on funny mushrooms, but I did see motion and colour. Mine is not a confirmed sighting of a cryptid, however. Much goes into verifying these things, and my account comes short of a few standards.
Fair enough.
He makes it a real point here to sound falsifiable.
Thank you, Rhetoric. And Lena's sighting of the phasmid, is that?
Confirmed. It's 100% verified and meets all the standards of an authentic cryptid sighting.
Just tell me about a cool cryptid. Any cryptid.
No offence, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories.
Fair enough.
Me? I'm not a people person, unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
Fair enough. Enough tales then. Let's change the subject.
By all means.
I'll get going. I'm going to talk to this guy, but I'm going to do it next episode. So that's going to be it for this episode. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time. So, we now have a quest to check the trap near the boathouses west of the Feld building. Check the trap Morell just set up in the Cryptozoologist camp. Check the trap in Land's End, far northeast of the field building, and check the trap near the canal you crossed, southeast of the village. Cool. That's something I can do. There's no way to track these, is there? I don't think so. Nevertheless, that's going to be it for this episode, because we're sitting at like 30 minutes nearly.